and welcome to And Now You Know. I'm Teresa, and tonight I'll be answering the question, why do tonsil stones smell like death? Okay, I just want to say right off the bat, don't you judge me. Don't you dare. I'm not the only one who's been curious, so don't act like you haven't ever been either. Okay, now that I got that out of my system. So yes, I deal with tonsil stones from time to time, especially if I've ever had a sinus infection or a bad head cold. They're annoying, they make your tonsils hurt, and if one comes out on its own, it looks like a pebble. The first time I ever got one, I was somewhere in my teens. I felt like this thing was stuck in my tonsil. So after tonguing it for a couple minutes, I felt something in my mouth. I pulled it out, and that's when curiosity got the better of me. I squished it. A decision I immediately regretted. Luckily, I was at home because had I been around people, it would have cleared a room. That smell was unlike anything I'd come across. It was like garbage and halitosis had a baby and I squished it between my fingers, which, by the way, took several thorough hand washes to get that smell off. So why? Why do these devil balls even exist? First, let's explore why you even get them in the first place. Tonsil stones, aka tonsilloliths, which is incredibly fun to say, tonsilloliths, form when debris gets trapped in the crypts or pockets of your tonsils. And how fitting that they're called crypts. Since your tonsils are part of your immune system, they're basically like the catcher's mitt of your mouth. Their purpose is to trap bacteria and viruses, but food, mucus, and saliva make their way in too. If the crypts aren't naturally cleared out, all that gunk begins to build up and then get broken down by bacteria. The bacteria create a biofilm, which over time begins to calcify. And that's how a tonsil stone is born. There are some factors, though, that make people more susceptible to getting them. Frequent or chronic tonsillitis. This causes constant inflammation, and infection can create deeper crypts over time. I used to get strep a lot when I was a kid, and even to this day, I still get it at least once every year or two. Poor oral hygiene. If you're not brushing and rinsing, that allows more bacteria to grow and more debris to build up. Smoking or vaping. Very similar to chronic tonsillitis, but on top of that, it dries out your mouth and causes irritation. Which, unfortunately, I used to smoke and I vape. Post-nasal drip. Extra mucus gets caught in your tonsils, even more so if you're sick. Dehydration or dry mouth. No saliva means no natural way to flush the debris out. Now that we know all of this, it's time to answer why. Why do tonsil stones smell so goddamn bad? It's because of bacteria. Earlier when I said all that gunk mixes together and bacteria steps in, begins to break it down and harden it, well, as that trapped material breaks down, it produces volatile sulfur compounds. These include methyl mercaptan, dimethyl sulfide, and hydrogen sulfide. You know, the classic rotten egg smell. Tonsil stones do stink, but the real odor comes from when they've been disturbed. It's basically nature's stink bomb. Once it's busted open, especially after oxygen hits it, it's game over. Those same volatile sulfur compounds are also found in rotting tissue, which is why people compare the smell to death, because honestly, it's not far off. If you're wondering, why not just leave them alone? Well, it's because tonsil stones can contribute to halitosis. They can also get quite large, which causes a lot of pain, irritation, and the sensation of something being stuck in your throat all the time. There have been reports of extracted tonsil stones being the size of grapes. When they get that big, they're then called tonsil boulders. How cute. Most of the time, tonsil stones dislodge themselves and you never even notice, but larger ones have to be removed. It's commonly recommended to use a water pick on a gentle setting, a Q-tip or a tongue depressor, or to gargle with warm salt water. If this becomes a chronic issue, or if you're dealing with fat man and little boy of tonsil stones, you may be looking at a procedure called cryptolysis. Cryptolysis is a minimally invasive procedure that removes debris and smooths out the tonsil crypts to prevent future buildup. It can be done under full anesthesia, but most patients opt for local numbing with mild sedation. There are two main methods, laser and coblation. Think hot versus cold. Both use the same general technique, but coblation is often preferred because it uses radio frequency energy at a lower temperature, typically around 110 to 150 degrees, which reduces damage to the surrounding tissue. There are usually minimal side effects, no stitches, and most importantly, no more tonsil stones. And now you know. If you have any questions you'd like answered, feel free to send me a message on Twitter at ANYKShow or email me at andnowyouknowshow@gmail.com. Until next time.